Hi, it is Stacy Horton with Maximum One, your lifeline to home realtor. It's been a minute since I've done a video and decided I would go ahead and do one. I actually have a few that I want to do, but I want to start off with appraisals. A lot of people are having questions about appraisals and what's the differences. And I did a PowerPoint, so let's go ahead and get started. It's called the Appraisal Checklist, what you need to know. First, let's start. What is an appraisal? It is an evaluation to determine a home's fair market value by comparing the home to similar homes that have recently sold in the same area. Price adjustments are made by differences on size, conditions, and/or features. When the appraiser goes in, also when we do our comps, we do this. We look at the location, we look at the condition of the home, we look at how the market has been doing, the age of the home, we look at any improvements, and we look at the neighborhood. And we normally go back either 3 months to 6 months. If it's a home that's not easily comparable, meaning that I'm gonna give you a perfect example. I had a home under contract that actually the home was underground. And so there's not much that you could use to compare that to because most homes are above ground. Um, and this one was not. And so it was a little difficult to find comps for it. And that's what the appraiser will do. And if you have to go out sometimes 3 miles or 4 miles to find something similar, that's what they'll do. But they generally try to stay at the 3 to 6 month mark, and we generally try to stay at 0.5 miles. If the home has 4 bedrooms, we try to look at all 4 bedrooms and within a certain square footage. And appraisals do not take the place of a home inspection, even though they will check certain, like your electrical system, the heating system, and things of that nature, it still won't take the place of an actual inspection. The appraisal differences of conventional FHA and VA loans. There lately has been a lot of sellers who don't want to accept FHA and VA loans because of one, the appraiser can request repairs. With the FHA loan, the seller or buyer can pay for repairs. With the VA loan, the buyer is not allowed to pay for them. So on all three loans, it determines the fair market value, but the difference with the FHA and VA are the meeting the standards for the minimal standards for health and safety, and that the appraiser can request repairs. And regardless of the loan type, both sellers and buyers should be concerned with the health and safety standards of the home. Taking the time to go through homes before listing, if you're a seller, will save you time, energy, increases the likelihood of appraising at purchase price without the hassles of appraisal requested repairs or a buyer backing out of the deal. As a buyer, checking for a few things while you're at that showing, while viewing a home, will give you some idea if there are some issues that will be a deal breaker for you. That saves you time and money. Sellers do not need to be intimidated of accepting an offer that is FHA or VA loan due to the appraisal. If your home is in good condition, you really don't have too much to worry about unless you're overpriced, which in this market, a lot of that has been going on where you may have asked for the good price, but people are bidding 15,000, 20,000, 30,000 over asking. And that's where a lot of people do kind of start freaking out about appraisals. I can honestly tell you, even in this market, in my 5 years of doing real estate, I've only had one home that never came in at purchase value. All my other ones have either either appraised at purchase price or over. The only difference with this would be investment properties. And of course, most of the time, investment properties, you're already buying them to fix them up, to update them, to put them back on the market. If you're a seller, before placing your home on the market, there's things that you should look at about your home and some questions you can ask yourself as you go through your home with your agent or before you even get an agent to find out what you may need to repair or replace before even placing it on the market. And if you're the buyer interested in a particular home, as you're walking through the home, these are some of the questions that you should be checking and looking for. There is what we call a seller's disclosure, and it basically is telling some things about the home, like if you knew there was a leak or when was the roof replaced, is there any lead-based paint, things of that nature. Let's go through some of these questions, and then I have some pictures at the end of how certain things may look if there is a problem. First question, does the home have clean drinking water, a water heater, and working sewage system? Is the heating system capable of heating the interior to 50 degrees Fahrenheit? Are the heating, cooling, electrical, water, and other systems in good working condition? Is the roof in good enough condition to last another 2 years or more? Is there an active pest infestation? Is there any damage to the home from a past or current pest infestation? Is there peeling or chipped paint? Are the staircase handrails secure? Are there any broken windows? Is there wood rot anywhere? I'm gonna let you know about wood rot. One of the most frequent places you'll see it is on the exterior by the windows. Just because of the weather, the rain, and all that other good stuff. You know, that's one of the places you would look. If you have a basement, in the bathrooms, kitchen, things of that nature where you know water is in use either in that room or has a chance of getting into that room. Is there a presence of water stains from an active or past leak? You may have had, what's a good one? You may have had a kid in the bathtub playing, and they're splashing water, or they turn the water on and the water comes over, and you may notice a little water on the floor and actually kind of seep through. When you go downstairs, you may see a little line on your ceiling that may have turned like a little brownish color. That is normally a water stain presence. And it doesn't necessarily mean it had a leak, but it could have just been something that happened. You may want to go ahead and check that. Make sure there's no mold around there or anything like that, and then paint that up. Is there any exposed wiring and or other electrical issues? Are the deck posts secure? Are the posts installed properly? Are there any foundation or structural issues? Is the basement and crawl space dry and properly ventilated? Does the property have a safe access from the street by a private driveway or permanent easement? Is there any defective construction, such as settlement issues or excessive dampness and decay? Are there any additions or installations that do not have a required permit? And let's just say not all installations and additions will need a permit. And it's also going to be based on your county. But you may, if you did have something done, you already know if you got a permit or not. You may want to check that if you bought the house that already had an installation or addition, and now you're selling it, you may want to check to be sure that a permit was requested. And if you don't know how to do that, your agent should be able to help you. Number 18, does the lot drainage move away from the house? Meaning, do you have a gutter system? Do you have some type of system that water is not pouring into like the foundation of the house? And if the house was built in 1978 or before, is there any known lead-based paint? Is there presence of mold? So let's go into examples of draining water away from the home. You see how these gutter systems are kind of coming out from the home, and so it's helping the water reroute it in a different direction. The deck posts and joints. Most decks, I can't use my mouse, I want to point, but most decks, if it's wooden and it's going into the ground, you don't want the wood to have direct contact with the ground. You do want to have some type of concrete around it, and that's for things like termites and such. And if you look at these three pictures, it kind of gives, two of the pictures for the post, it gives a good example of how it should be. The picture in the middle, or how the joist should be to help it stay secure. This is wood rot. And as you can see, basically what it just is, it's just water constantly going into the wood. As you all know, wood absorbs water and holds onto it. And this is what can happen when it sits there. So if you have anything like this, you may want to replace it. And it is not really that expensive to replace. Evidence of pest infestation. These are all different examples. We have the rodent droppings. And then in the attic, you have the rodent droppings with the actual rodent. The top two right pictures are termite damage. And then you have this left picture, which is actually underneath the deck where you see some pests have damaged the wood. This is what different examples of what water damage can look like. And as you can see in two of the pictures, a great deal of mold has already started. If you have any questions, feel free to call me. Send me an email, text me. This is my information, Stacy Horton. I'm a realtor with Maximum One Realty. I'm your Lifeline to Home realtor. Email address is stacy@lifelinetohome.com, 404-641-8751. Thank you.